What up, guys? The two-handed Skittle or Moto Fish here, bringing you some mic'd up talk about the Eternity versus the Altered Reality. You should have just got done watching the, good footage with the good camera. I don't have a mic for my camera yet, so we're just gonna use my phone because I'm still trying to learn how to use the camera. But yeah, so the Eternity, if you can see from the video, you can probably see the Eternity is just a little stronger than the Altered Reality. Not overall, but I feel like the Altered Reality gets a little farther down the lane until it makes its move. The Eternity likes to dig a little earlier, be a little more early and continuous. Because the Altered Reality definitely gets farther down the lane and flips, and the Eternity is just smoother overall. If you're wondering why I'm on a different lane, it's because 31 got torched after 30 minutes of recording. Same house shot, same everything, just fresh. So I can talk to you guys about the ball motion and show you guys my initial thoughts and reaction on the fresh. But Eternity looked pretty good. I stood on 25 there. So we're gonna stay on 25 with the Altered Reality now and try to throw it somewhat the same. I'm very not good at that. Oh, I'm not cool enough for that. We're gonna keep inching right with the Altered Reality, because you guys just saw that first shot with the Eternity. Real smooth, real continuous to the pins. I'm gonna move right and get lined up with the Altered Reality, and then I'm gonna throw the Eternity from that spot to show you guys a little bit of a difference between the balls. I personally think the Eternity is 2 to 3 boards stronger than the Altered Reality. That's just my opinion. Okay, so I stood on 22 that time. Threw that one pretty good. I didn't come around it, but that should make the read lane a little deeper. So now, we are going to throw the Eternity from that spot and see what happens. Oof. They're definitely similar. They are definitely similar. They have the same ball motion overall, but they do things a little differently. The Altered gets a little farther down the lane and it wants to flip. The Eternity sees the lane maybe half a foot to a foot sooner, but it doesn't use its energy all like that. It wants to use it in a more linear arc and save its energy and be a little more continuous to the pins. So 22 seems to be a sweet spot right now for both of them. I'm gonna try to throw the Altered again. I'm gonna try to come around it. That's better. Yeah, so you get coming around it, got through the heads a little farther, kick the tin out. So now, we're gonna throw the Eternity from that same sweet spot on 22. And see what happens. I think it's gonna hook a little more. Yep. You can see it dig a little deeper, a little sooner than the Altered, and it wanted to start its motion sooner. As you can see, the further we moved right, the different ball motions definitely came into play. So now, since we know the Eternity hooks more than the Altered from its happy spot, we're gonna try to go back to the Eternity's happy spot after I re-rack. We're gonna see how the Altered does in the Eternity's spot. Oh my God, Dusty got Panda Express. Also, happy Valentine's Day to whoever's watching us on Valentine's Day. Hope your girlfriend or your boyfriend brought you a new ball. You know, that's a good present. Always welcome the bowling balls as presents. All right, so we were standing on 27, I think right there. Let me just check. Yeah, 26, my bad, 26. So now we're gonna throw the Altered from that spot. So yeah, 26 with my feet and right with my eyes. Yeah, but you can definitely see what I mean by the Altered likes to flip and stand up a little more than the Eternity. The Eternity likes to just see the lane and roll and be more continuous to the pin deck. So now that we got some comparison out of the way, let me try to strike from 3 different spots with each ball. And by 3 different spots, I mean deep, deep, and deeper. So we'll start with the Eternity. We're gonna throw it somewhat normal speed around where we just were. So yeah, that was standing on 25 with the Eternity. I'll stand on 25 with the Altered, try to throw it somewhat similar. Fell off it. That's just overall the difference in ball motion between the Altered and the Eternity. The Altered is going to get a little farther down the lane before it makes its move. In that case, never. We're going to move 5 left off that last shot after I re-rack. Slow it down a little bit and let it shape a little more, which I have no problem believing it's going to do. If I get it out. Wow, it's still hooked. So for those of you who don't know, and for those of you who know, typical house shots, you miss in, you're gonna have a little more push, you miss right, you're gonna have a little more hook. They're designed to funnel the ball to the pocket. I just threw that ball into Lake Oil Tuna, and it still hooked. So that's impressive. But now we're actually gonna try to throw one to the right, not throw it like a dummy. There we go. And see, that's a little too much angle, a little bit too much dry. The ball kind of used up a little bit too much energy on that shot. So now, we're gonna throw the Altered from there, which this is where things might get interesting. Because I feel like the Altered is actually gonna get the 10 out from here. I feel like the Altered is actually gonna carry. Yep. See, the Altered is going to respond to friction harder. There we go. Yep. The reason the Eternity didn't flip and use its energy is because it's not meant to do that. It's kind of meant to save its energy a little more, be more continuous and be a little more continuous through the pins. I use the word continuous a lot because it makes sense. But I do feel like the Eternity is going to see the lane in more oil rather than the Altered. The Eternity is going to dig a little harder when you miss in on that oil. The Altered is going to kind of skid. We're going to move another 5 now and see what happens. I got to be wary of this ball return. Yep. See, the Eternity, it's not getting a chance to use its energy. It's in a little bit too much oil there. Thank you. Man, I threw that ball good. I left the 1-3. Is that a 1-6 or a 1-3? What the heck is that? Literally standing on 35. Throwing right. All right, we got that one off our hand. Definitely saw the lane in the oil. Definitely drove off the pin deck. And now we have Old Faithful Altered Reality. Let's go to the same spot. Rip the cover stock off it and send it right. Go back to the Eternity. Woo! Little light mixer. Now we're gonna try to do the same thing with the Altered. Rip the cover stock off it, send it right. Rip the cover stock off it, send it right. So yeah, I feel like all in all, they do similar things, they just do them differently. The Eternity is going to be a little better for longer patterns on the fresh, I feel like, or shorter patterns after your thing gets pushed down. And the same with the Altered. I'd highly recommend the Eternity because they're very similar. They're very, very similar. The Eternity just sees the lane a little sooner and it's a little more continuous to the pins. So those people with not a whole lot of spin or tilt, you're going to be able to get the kick off the 10. You're going to be able to just have a little more versatility with the Eternity rather than the Altered Reality. But all in all, I feel like it's a great ball. It's very similar, and it's going to be very usable in a lot of conditions. I expect to use this ball on tour a lot. I expect to see a lot of use out of this ball, and hopefully I can put up some scores with it. But that's it for now. I'm going to play a couple shots from earlier, and hope you guys enjoy.